I never went looking for drama when I retired from the Army after 25 years, 3 tours in the sandbox. Had me craving nothing but quiet acres and open sky, but boy, did it find me the day I brought home my first goats. Settling into this little 5-acre spread just outside Willow Creek Meadows, a tidy suburb full of matching McMansions and manicured lawns, I figured I'd finally nail that slice of heaven. A cozy A-frame cabin, rolling fields, and an old weathered barn that had been standing since the 40s. But sharing a fence with those HOA folks, that turned my peaceful goat-raising dream into a full-blown showdown, all because one power-hungry neighbor couldn't stand the sight of smell off my little herd. It started innocently enough, or so I thought. I'd name my dairy goats after old Army pals, Buddy and Max for the tough guys, then Fluffy, Peanut, Daisy, and Rex for the ones with more personality than sense. They'd bleat hello every morning as I milked them, nuzzling my boots like overgrown pups, and I'd sit there with my coffee thinking, this is it, Jack. This is what freedom feels like after dodging bullets and bureaucracy. I kept everything ship-shape, barn spotless, the fence mended tighter than a drum. Even planted some wildflowers along the shared line to pretty it up for the suburban crowd, peering over from their chemically perfect yards. But nope, that wasn't enough for Linda Hargrove, the HOA queen bee, who showed up one crisp Saturday in her pearl earrings and crisp khakis, clipboard in hand like a weapon. "Mr. Harlan," she said, her voice all clipped and superior, eyeing my barn like it was a junkyard. "I'm Linda, president of the Willow Creek HOA. While you're not technically under our umbrella, your activities are impacting our community's aesthetic standards and property values." I wiped grease from my hands. I'd been tinkering with the tractor and shot back. "Activities? You mean my goats grazing on my own land? This barn's older than your whole development, Linda. You built right up to my fence, knowing full well what was here." Her eyes narrowed, that fake smile tightening like she'd bitten a lemon. "We have concerns: noise, odors, visual blight. Perhaps relocate the animals to the back." I crossed my arms. "Back where?" "The wetlands I can't touch by law. Look, I've been neighborly, let your gardeners borrow my hose last summer, but this stops here. Take your clipboard and go." She huffed off in her SUV, but I could tell from the way her jaw clenched, this wasn't over. Folks like Linda don't back down, they double down, especially when their little fiefdom feels threatened by something as uncivilized as farm life rubbing against their pristine bubble. Things escalated quicker than a summer storm. First came the glossy letters slipped under my gate, whining about scent pollution and disrupted skylines. Then anonymous emails from some made-up HOA compliance address, quoting covenants that didn't apply to me. I ignored them at first, figuring it was just bluster, but then I spotted white powder along the fence, turned out to be some cheap repellent meant to burn hooves if it got wet. My blood boiled. This wasn't about aesthetics anymore. It was sabotage, pure and simple, born from Linda's ego and her fear that my rustic setup might drag down her precious resale values or challenge her iron grip on neighborhood. I installed cameras, caught her sneaking over at 2 a.m., dumping more of the stuff, her face lit up like a deer in headlights. I could have pressed charges right then, but I held off. Army taught me patience, filing reports with the city instead, proving my land was grandfathered, exempt from their rules since before their cul-de-sacs even existed. But Linda? She rallied her troops, kids tossing junk over the fence, notes calling my goats disease carriers, even a rock with a nasty message. It hurt. Not gonna lie here, I was a vet just wanting solitude, feeling like an outsider on my own dirt because of some territorial power play. Deep down, I knew her drive came from more than lawns, maybe jealousy over my freedom, or her own frustrations bottled up in that perfect life, but it pushed me to dig in harder. The breaking point hit one muggy afternoon. I was mending a stall when I heard the barn door creak open, and there she was, Linda in full stealth mode, cargo vest and all, snapping photos inside like she owned the place. "What the hell?" I barked, stepping out from the shadows. She jumped, phone clutched tight. "I'm inspecting for violations, mold, waste hazards. The smell alone is a health risk." Her voice pitched high, defensive. "You're trespassing, Linda. Get out before I call the sheriff." She puffed up. "I have rights to protect our values." That's when she backed into the feed mat, spilling grain everywhere. Her goats went nuts, not aggressive, just excited for treats, charging over with bleats and hoof clattering. Linda screamed like a banshee, flailing as Buddy led the pack, and in her panic, she scrambled up the loft ladder, perching up there red-faced and trembling. "Get these beasts away," they re-attacking. I couldn't hold back a laugh, deep and genuine, leaning on my pitchfork. "They're goats, not wolves. You barged in, dumped their food. What did you expect? A welcome mat?" She fumbled for her phone, dialing 911, while I waved at the camera. Deputy Room is good guy. We play cards at the VF showed up chuckling, escorted her out muttering about lawsuits. I uploaded a silent clip later. No names, just the absurdity. HOA boss versus goats. Epic fail. It exploded online, 500,000 views overnight. Memes flying, folks dubbing it the goat uprising. But Linda? Humiliation fueled her fire. She sent threats, filed bogus zoning complaints, even cut my gate latch one night. Her motives crystal clear now. Control, revenge for denting her authority, turning a simple boundary dispute into a personal vendetta that exposed the ugly underbelly of HOA overreach. I stopped playing defense after that, armed with my property deeds and Army home paperwork skills. I countered hard, sending certified letters to the board, the county, even the local news, attaching footage and zoning proofs that shredded her claims. Trina, my lawyer buddy, laughed at her scare tactics. "This is Bluff City, let's bury him." When Linda sued for emotional trauma and defamation, we hit back in court, laying out every trespass, every fake violation, the judge dismissing it all with a wry smile. Ms. Hargrove, passion doesn't excuse patterns of harassment. She slunk out defeated, stepping down from the board amid whispers her own neighbors were fed up with her manipulations. Back home, the air felt lighter. The goats, munching hay under a sunset sky. No more shadows lurking. But here's the thing that sticks. Was I too harsh, turning her blunders viral, or was it justice served against a bully who twisted community for control? Peace came, sure, with folks now dropping by to pet the goats, even leaving apology notes, realizing Linda's crusade was more about her insecurities than any real threat. My barn became a quiet hub, kids laughing as Peanut nibbled carrots, reminding me belonging ain't about fences, it's about standing firm. Yet, I wonder if exposing her sparked real change or just pushed the problem underground. What do you think if you dealt with an HOA nightmare like this? Drop a comment below. Was I right to go public, or should I have kept it private? Share your stories, hit like if goats rule, and subscribe for more real-life tales from the edge of suburbia.